What's up, Ragin Nation? My name is Alex Yu, and you're watching another episode of the Ragin Nation Show. This really is just a show where I talk about all the things that matter to me in the world of movies. The first thing I want to talk about is, what do you get when you mix Haywire with Taken? You get Takewire. I'm just kidding. No, you get In the Blood. This is a movie directed by John Stockwell, and it is starring Gina Carano from Haywire. And it is about a story where Gina Carano's character's husband gets kidnapped and killed. And you know, well, what Gina Carano does, she kicks ass. So it's kind of like the character of Haywire meets the story of Taken. So this is like a femme fatale vengeance story. And I'm looking forward to watching this just because I had a fun time watching Gina Carano in Haywire, and I'm definitely looking forward to her next movie. And you know her next movie is definitely going to be a femme fatale movie, especially for the next maybe 3 or 4 movies, because if you're not going to cast her for her fighting abilities, what are you going to cast her for? So unfortunately, she has been typecasted, but maybe that's what the fans want to see. I mean, I don't want to see Gina Carano in a romance drama role. I want to see her kick ass. So that will be her next movie. And moving on to other news, The Adventures of Tintin made over $370 million worldwide. And so obviously there's going to be a sequel. We already knew that there were going to be sequels for this movie. The sequels will be directed by Peter Jackson. I don't know how many sequels there are, but Peter Jackson will start filming this using motion capture after he is done with The Hobbit. The Hobbit comes out this December. Moving on to other news, another director that I like to watch is Tony Scott. Tony Scott makes some really awesome action movies, from Top Gun, Deja Vu, Crimson Tide. Those are some of the great ones. And I will watch every movie he makes. And his next movie will be a movie called Lucky Strike, and it stars Vince Vaughn, and it's about Vince Vaughn, who is a DEA agent who teams up with a drug runner to take down a cartel. And that's all I need to know. A movie about like drug lords and DEA agents, and that's action written all over. So you got Tony Scott directing, and I'm looking forward to this one. It's been a while since Vince Vaughn has been in an action role. The last time he was in an action role was in Jurassic Park Lost World. So that was like all the way back in like 1990, I don't know, 1996, 1997. So it's been a while, and you know, it's good to see him back. And in other movie news, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance comes out this weekend, and the directors Brian Taylor and Mark Neveldine, they were talking about what they should make next, and they threw out 2 movies. And that is the movie that they're famous for, which is Crank. They were thinking about doing a 3rd installment, or Ghost Rider 3. Both of them will be, I'm pretty sure, 3D movies. I'll tell you, I used to be a fan of Brian Taylor and Mark Neveldine when I saw Crank for the first time, the very first one. And I'm actually only a fan of that movie. Everything else they've done, just, oh boy. It's really not that great, to be completely honest. I went to watch Gamer. That was probably the worst movie I've ever seen in the theater in my life. So it was pretty bad. And I also went to watch Crank 2, and that was just, it really wasn't that great. It was a big mess to me. Anyways, I want them to direct Crank 3D as opposed to Ghost Rider, because, you know, like Nicolas Cage playing Ghost Rider, that's just questionable altogether. And here's some other news that got me excited, and that is Jonathan Liebesman, who is the director of Battle Los Angeles and the upcoming Clash of the Titans sequel, Wrath of the Titans, is directing the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot. This is crazy because this is the 3rd version of it, because we had the original trilogy back in the 90s, and then we had the animated movie in 2007. So I don't know when this one is coming out, but it's being produced by Platinum Dunes, you know, Michael Bay's production company, and he will be the director, Jonathan Liebesman, that is. And this is kind of crazy because it's a live action reboot. It is not a CG slugfest like the last one, and I actually enjoyed that one. But it will be a live action reboot, so that in itself gets me pretty excited. And I hope they can really put in some cool like ninja moves and action. So pretty excited. A long time ago, back in 2002, 2003, John Woo had planned on producing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot, but it never got around to being made. So here it is coming. I don't know when, but Jonathan Liebesman is attached to direct. And another piece of cool news is that Taken 2, Mistaken, I'm just kidding, it's not called Mistaken, it's just called Taken 2. It is halfway done filming, and Latino Review actually did a really kind of minor spoilerific review on what the plot is about, and I listened to it, I watched through it, and they didn't give a whole lot away, but let's just say it doesn't follow Die Hard. Basically in Die Hard with John McClane, the same thing happens to the same guy twice in 2 movies in a row. Let's just say that that is and isn't happening in the second one. It's going to be a really interesting take on this franchise, but it will keep the essence of what made Taken cool, and that is Liam Neeson kicking ass, and we're going to see a lot of that, and it's going to up the ante on what the action is going to be like. So this is going to be really cool. Famke Janssen is back, Liam Neeson is obviously back, Maggie Grace is back, and I'm really looking forward to this one because Taken was a really surprise hit to me. So there you have it. And the last piece of news I want to tell you about is that Fast and Furious 6 and 7 is no longer shooting back to back. Originally what was planned was that both movies, 6 and 7, would be shot together, that way they can pump out 2 movies with the cost of just making 1. That is no longer the case. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, had just confirmed that they are shooting Fast 6 in UK in May actually, so it's shooting pretty soon. Justin Lin's on board to direct, and there's a rumor that Jason Statham would be in it, so it'll be like Fast and Furious meets The Transporter or something like that. So that'll be really exciting. Fast 7 on the other hand will be shooting in Germany, and that's like an entirely different movie. So I don't know if Justin Lin's going to be back for another round, but definitely he's there for Fast 6, which takes place in the UK, which is filming this May. And there you have it. That's all the news I have for you guys today. It's been a really busy week with all the Transformers 4 news. So speaking of which, if you haven't already subscribed to my other channel, the Ragin Nation, where I talk about all the news about Transformers 4, subscribe to that right now. On that channel, I'm going to cover all the things that have to do with the production of Transformers 4 up to its release and all types of Transformers types of news. So you definitely want to subscribe to that. This channel right here, the Ragin Ronin Review, we're going to talk about movie news and reviews. So I just want to keep it like that because that was the way that my channel was originally like back in May 2010 when I did my first review for Iron Man. Anyways, I want to ask you guys a question. Brian Taylor and Mark Neville-Dean don't know if they're going to direct Crank 3D or Ghost Rider 3 for their next movie. What do you think they should direct? Crank 3D or Ghost Rider 3? For me, I want to see Crank 3D or Crank 3, whichever. I just want to see a 3rd installment of Crank. If they keep on making Crank movies, I'll keep on watching them. I just love watching Jason Statham. He is a bona fide action star, and maybe the only big action star other than The Rock and Vin Diesel that is working in Hollywood today. Anyways, that's all I have to say for this episode of the Ragin Nation Show. If you enjoyed this video, show me some love, click like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also like my Facebook page, The Ragin Nation. If you have any questions that you want me to answer, tweet them to me at Ragin Nation, and I'll answer them on camera on Twitter Tuesdays. My name is Alex Yu, and thanks for watching another episode of the Ragin Nation Show. I'll see you next time. Peace. And a lot of people are mentioning that it's not a reboot. Well, let me tell you this. You can call it whatever you want. Revisualization, a reimagining, a retooling, a retelling, whatever.